All right, jumping right into it. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into iOS.
Nice.
You've sent over a really interesting collection of articles and research papers all about iOS,
Mm.
and clearly you're ready to go a little bit deeper with it than just swiping and tapping.
Yeah.
Maybe you are prepping for an upcoming meeting or presentation.
Sure.
Maybe you're thinking about getting a new iPhone,
Right.
or maybe you're just fascinated by the way that this technology that we use every day has basically woven itself into our lives.
Hmm.
Whatever the reason is, we're here to help you go deeper on this.
Absolutely.
So we are going to uncover why iOS design is so influential, what features really set it apart from other mobile operating systems,
Okay.
and yeah, we're even going to peek into the future a little bit.
Sounds good.
And look at where augmented reality and artificial intelligence are taking iOS.
Yeah, you know what I find really fascinating about iOS is how it's not just about the phone itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole ecosystem that Apple has created around iOS that makes it so unique.
Yeah, and one of the articles that you sent over actually breaks down how Apple uses something called skeuomorphism in its design.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, they make the interface look like real-world objects. So like the Notes app on your iPhone looks like a physical notepad,
Right.
just to make it super intuitive to use.
Exactly. And I think that feeds into their entire philosophy, which is simplicity and ease of use.
Right.
Which is absolutely crucial when you have so much power packed into a device that fits in your pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's the App Store.
Yes.
And, you sent some stuff over about that. And there's millions of apps on the App Store. But it's not just a complete free-for-all, right?
No, it's not.
Like anyone can just put anything on there.
Right. One of your sources actually highlighted that Apple has a very rigorous review process
Oh, wow.
for every single app that is submitted to the App Store.
Interesting.
So they are checking for security, obviously.
Yeah.
They're checking for functionality, how well the app works.
Yeah.
And they're even checking to make sure that app adheres to Apple's design guidelines.
Oh, wow.
So that curation is a big part of what makes the App Store experience so different from, say, the Google Play Store on Android.
I see. So it's like they're ensuring quality control
Exactly.
at every single level.
Yeah.
Which, as a consumer, that definitely builds trust for me.
For sure.
And speaking of trust, let's talk about security a little bit.
Okay.
Those regular iOS updates that we all get, those aren't just about getting new emojis, are they?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
One of the reports that you send over actually goes into detail about how those updates often include security patches.
Interesting.
So think of it like fixing the locks on the doors to your house.
Okay.
Apple is constantly working to stay ahead of any potential threats out there and keep your data safe.
So they're proactively looking for those things.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay, that makes those update reminders a lot less annoying now.
Right.
Suddenly, you know what I mean? But what about the features that really make iOS stand out, like iMessage or Face ID, or even Siri, even though Siri makes me laugh sometimes?
Well, it's interesting that you pick up on Siri's quirks.
Yeah.
Because your notes actually contain this really interesting piece about machine learning.
Oh, yeah.
And machine learning is the technology that powers Siri and how Siri learns and improves over time.
Interesting.
And it's a small glimpse into how artificial intelligence is becoming more and more integrated into iOS.
Yeah.
Even if it isn't always perfect.
Right. And speaking of artificial intelligence and kind of looking ahead to the future,
Yes.
the stuff that you sent over about augmented reality with Apple and iOS, it's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The potential for iOS to basically change how we interact with the world around us is huge.
It really is. One of the articles that you sent over talks about how Apple has been laying the groundwork for augmented reality on iOS for years now with things like ARKit, which is a tool that developers can use to create augmented reality experiences.
So they've been planning this for a while.
Oh, yeah, for a long time.
Interesting.
And just imagine like holding up your phone and getting real-time information overlaid on top of the world around you.
Wow.
That's the kind of future that we're talking about here.
Yeah, so we've gone from like basic design philosophy with iOS all the way to the future of augmented reality.
Yeah.
And what I keep coming back to is just how intentional everything feels with iOS.
Yeah.
Even something as simple as a security update.
Yeah.
It's not just about fixing a bug. It's about maintaining this whole ecosystem of trust and user experience.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
We've talked about how iOS shapes our digital lives.
Right.
But as iOS continues to evolve, I want you to think about this.
Okay.
As augmented reality becomes commonplace and more a part of our lives,
Yeah.
how will that change how we experience the world around us?
Mhm.
How will it change how we work?
Wow.
How will it change how we even connect with each other?
That's a really good point.
It's a fascinating thing to consider.
And that is what these deep dives are all about.
Absolutely.
We have pulled out the most interesting and important bits from all of the sources that you sent over to us.
Yes, and hopefully it sparks even more exploration for you.
Until next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.